Good morning, it's Mrs. Landry. I hope you're doing well at home, and it's kind of weird having school from home. I know I'm talking to a camera instead of to you guys, but if I use my imagination, I can picture where you're sitting around my classroom, and I hope you're paying attention. You know, if you're not, I will call you on it. There are some nice things about working from home. I can dress comfy, wear my slippers. I don't have a long drive to work anymore. You don't have to sit on the school bus. I know you're missing your friends, and I'm missing you guys too. We have a little bit of math work for you to do. Hopefully you did well on what we put up last week on the website. And this week there is another lesson, and we're going to move into long division now. And this is a review from what you've done in both grade 5 and 6, although we're going to review the method that we've taught this year. And hopefully you remember the steps. So if you remember the funny little sentence we had for the steps, it was Dracula must suck blood. But the important part to remember is the math words that goes with that. So D stands for, you try to say it before I do, D stands for divide. M stands for multiply. S stands for subtract. And B stands for bring down. And remember, then you go back and repeat the steps until you can't bring down anything anymore. We're going to try this question, 285 divide by 3. We will start with the first step, divide. Remember, we're doing one place at a time, starting with the largest place. So in this case, we're starting with the 2 that's in the hundredths place. And so we're starting with 2 divided by 3. So think about 2. How many groups of 3 are there? Well, there's only 2. There are no groups of 3. And so no groups of 3 would be 0 groups. And we write the answer to the divide part up top, because that's where the answer to the division question goes. Then our next step is multiply. We multiply what we wrote down, the 0, times the 3 groups. 0 times 3, 0 groups of 3 is 0. And we write it underneath. So we're all set up for our next step, which is subtract. We subtract. 2 subtract 0 is 2. That gives our remainder for that step. Then we move to the next place and we bring down. We're only going to bring down the 8, and we place it right beside that remainder of 2. Don't forget 2. If your remainder is, it must be less than what you're dividing by. So if the remainder was 3 or higher, we would know we've made a mistake. So check that remainder and make sure that it is smaller than what you're dividing by. Now we're repeating, back to our divide step. We have 28 divided into 3 groups. This one's a little bit bigger number, so think through your times tables. 3 times what is close to 28? And it would be 9. So 9 groups of 3 will be close to 28. Then we multiply. 9 times 3 gives 27, and that's real close to 28. We subtract. A remainder of 1 for that step. And our remainder is smaller than the 3, so we now keep on going and bring down. Bring down the 5. Don't forget to mark what you're bringing down so that you don't forget which numbers you brought down and which ones are left to bring down. We now have 15. We're going to repeat with the divide step. 15 divided by 3 would be 5 groups. Multiply. 5 groups of 3, or 5 times 3, 15. And we set it up to subtract. And in this step, we have a remainder of 0. Our next step, bring down. Well, there's nothing more to bring down, so we are done. So 285 divided by 3 is equal to 95. That 0 is just a placeholder, so the answer is actually 95 for that. If you happen to have a remainder, you would write an R and then the remainder up top and here as well. And so hopefully you remember how to do the long division steps. Hopefully this will remind you if you were forgetting a bit. If you find you're having difficulty when you do the practice work that we put on the website, send me an email or give me a call and I'll give you some more help on it. I miss you guys. I hope you're keeping safe, keeping healthy, doing some things for fun, but also now getting back into the groove of doing some things for school. It's not quite summer vacation yet. That will come quickly, but we need to keep you remembering what you've learned so far this year. See you later.